Okay, so I do want to tell you about a date that I went on last week. So I haven't been on a date in a couple weeks, but I decided to go on a date last week with a guy that I had been talking to for about 2 months. And he made a date with me twice already, but he did not follow through. So I had told him like this was the last time, like three strikes you're out. Like if you don't follow through with the date this time, and that's just it. We won't go on a date. And it's no hard feelings. We're just not doing it though, because I just can't deal with that. You can't just keep breaking dates with me. So we decided he lives about an hour and 20 minutes away. So he decided to come here and we decided we're going to Cheesecake Factory. He's never been to Cheesecake Factory. And I was telling him I wanted a certain pasta from the Cheesecake Factory called Louisiana chicken pasta, which I love. It's my fave. And he was like, "I never been to the Cheesecake Factory." I'm like, "You never been to the Cheesecake Factory?" I thought it was weird, but that's where it was at. So he really had never been. He looked online at the menu and he was like, "Oh my goodness, they have everything. I would love to go." So he came in town. We went and we met there, got there around the same time, and it was a wait. It was an hour and a half wait. They said up to an hour and a half, but we really waited like an hour and 15 minutes. And we just waited, and it gave us a chance to talk more. We talked more, even though we had been talking on the phone the whole time. I could tell he had told me that he was really shy in person. He was an introvert, so he really was. But I kept, I'm really outgoing, so I could tell that he was getting more and more comfortable. So we went and had a nice dinner. He got to try something. He never had artichoke. So we ordered like crab and artichoke dip for appetizer. I got my pasta for entree. He got a stuffed burger, but he said he didn't want any pink. And the man was telling him, like, in order for them to stuff the burger, it's going to be a little pink because they had to put the cheeses and something like that. And I guess he didn't understand it. So when it came, he didn't want it. He had to send it back and he ended up getting like Philly cheesesteak. I tried, child, but he had to. It was the restaurant was already out of his comfort zone. The crab and artichoke dip was already out of his comfort zone. I couldn't convince him to get an entree out of his comfort zone. So I mean, I had to let it go. So and then we shared like a slice of red velvet cheesecake. So he was just like, it was really nice. We had a good time. He got more and more comfortable. And he was like, "Yeah, we've done this now." So we get in the car and we're talking. He goes to put his food in his car. He comes in my car. We're talking. Now, mind you, when I met him on through a dating app and we exchanged numbers, on a dating app on his profile, he puts he's a non-smoker. When I was talking to him on the phone, I have a very keen sense of hearing. One night, I heard a lighter. And I knew he wasn't lighting a candle. He could have tried to play it off and say he was lighting a candle, but I could tell. And it was just like something about like the way he was talking and his breathing was different. And I was like, "Are you smoking?" And he was like, "Huh?" And I was like, "Are you smoking?" And he was like, "I don't smoke cigarettes." I was like, "What are you smoking?" He was like, "I'm smoking a Black and Mild," which is, whatever. People try to act like they're so much better because they smoke a Black and Mild and not cigarettes. I mean, come on. So I was like, "Well, you said that you were a non-smoker, and that's kind of like a big deal to me." So he was like, "Yeah, I know. It's just when my nerves get bad. Same old, same old that people who smoke say when they want you to act like they really don't want to smoke and they're going to quit." So I was like, "Hey, that's kind of like a deal breaker for me." And he was like, "I'm going to stop. I'm going to stop." So he had claimed that he had stopped. When I would talk to him on the phone, it took him about a week, but he had claimed that he'd stopped. And I would, like I said, I would talk to him on the phone and I wouldn't hear anything. And he was telling me about his daily, like this whole time, y'all. He telling me about the struggle. He was like, "Today was a rough day with me trying not to smoke, blah blah blah." Like, and I'm believing that he quit. Like, I mean, because I just believe like when you decide that you're gonna do something, sometimes you could just do it cold turkey. Because I had an aunt that smoked for like 40 years, decided one day she was gonna stop, and she stopped cold turkey and never looked back. So I just believe that you can do it. So okay, so fast forward to like we're sitting in my car after we've eaten at the restaurant, and we're talking, and he's like, He had a COVID test and he showed me his results because that was a prerequisite for us to go out as well. So he had a COVID test through his job and everything. So he showed me the results. So we're sitting in the car and we're just talking about different stuff. And he's like, "Hey, we've gone on this date. We've been talking for 2 months. I really want us to be in a relationship. You think we can move forward to be in a relationship?" And I'm like, "No, one date doesn't do it. I mean, I know we've been talking on the phone, but we don't talk that much because you work a lot, and this, one date isn't gonna do it." I was like, "But we're on the right path, you know what I mean?" So, long story short, like we say goodbye, and he hugs me really, really tight and kisses me on my cheek, and I could smell like a whiff. It was like just a whiff that I thought that I smelled a black and mild. But I said to Lathea, "You're being paranoid because you try to find something wrong with the people." So I said, "Don't say anything. Don't say anything." So I didn't say anything, and I get back in my car. So he's in his car, and I stay until he drives his car next to mine. And then I'm like, "You getting everything straight?" And he's getting his GPS on his phone, opening the maps app. And he's making sure he got an address so he can, because he doesn't know where he's going. He's not from my area. So he's making sure he knows. And I'm like, "You know which way to get back on the highway?" He's like, "Yes." So he goes in one direction. Okay. I go in the total opposite direction because I'm like, you gotta stay woke because, people can tell you they going home, but then they might be trying to follow you. So you gotta make sure you zigzag and do stuff so they can't be following you. And if they are following you, I mean, these are the things that being a single woman you have to do when you're dating, and you live by yourself. So, so I go a whole nother total direction. And I go out of another side entrance of the mall. The Cheesecake Factory was at this mall called Short Pump Mall. So I go out the other entrance, but I go out the back entrance, but then I get to the light. And he came out the front entrance, but he's at the light. So all of a sudden I'm like, "Is that him at the light?" He doesn't see me though. He doesn't see me because he's looking at his phone. And so I pull up beside him, and as I pull up beside him, he got a black and mild hanging from his mouth, and I could tell he's about to light it, but he's looking at his phone. Like he's at the stoplight, so he has his phone in one hand, the black and mild is hanging out of his mouth, and he has the lighter in another hand. And he goes to light the black and mild, put the lighter down, switch the phone from the left hand to the right hand. I think he's about to text. He looks up and sees me. He looks to his right and he sees me because I've now rolled my window down because I wanted to stare. It just so happened nobody was behind me because the light had turned green and I'm staring. And he was like, "I was just about to text you and tell you, how fun it was." I was like, "Oh, I thought you were gonna text me and tell me that you had started back smoking." And I drove away. And if you could have seen his face, he was like, he totally forgot that he had the black and mild hanging from his mouth. As he was talking to me, that wasn't even on his mind. And now he's looking like, "Oh my gosh, I'm busted. Could have brought me for a dime." So he never texted me. You know how he said he was just about to text me? He never texted me. So, um, so he just did not realize that I was right there. And you could have just seen him. He was just looking like, "Oh my goodness, busted." So he never texted me. And next thing I know, I had told him, "Call me when you get home." It took a while for him to call me. He did. He tried not to talk about it like it didn't happen. I brought it up. He was like, "Well, I had stopped. I had stopped for a month and I just started back up. And it's hard. I got so much going on." And listen, I'm not here to change him. Like I told him, I'm not here to change you. You're a grown person. You can do whatever you like. You don't have to apologize for being a smoker. You are enough as a smoker for somebody else. just not for me. You are enough as you are. You don't have to make any changes for me. But these are my deal breakers. And I told you, and you told me that you were not going to smoke. And so I feel like you're trying to lie to me and manipulate me to get what you want out of me. And that's not cool. And if you're going to lie about that, you'll lie about other things. So I think I'm good on him. I mean, we still talk. He asked me yesterday if we can go out for brunch this weekend. And I was like, I'm busy. I am busy doing I'm just gonna be busy in the house chat. But I think I'm straight on him. I think I'm straight on him and because I just keep thinking about that lie. And I'm sure he's still smoking now that it's out and open. He's still smoking. And I just know that that's just not something I can deal with. You know how there are just certain things. It just annoys me so bad. Smoking gets into your pores, your clothes, your hair, just everything. And then when you try to kiss somebody who smokes, you can taste it. You can. I just don't like it. It's just not my thing. So I think I'm gonna be good on him. I think I am. But that's just how the cookie crumbles, y'all. If it ain't one thing, it's another. I'm just here trying to share my dating life with you all in hopes that it helps y'all, in hopes that y'all continue to lift me up in prayer about it, and in hopes that one day I'll be able to do a video for you all and I'll just be like, y'all, I met the love of my life and, I'm getting married and I found my person. Just hoping. But today is not the day. All right, y'all.